All right, Nathan, now's the time to talk about a sci-fi film we haven't gotten to yet, and I think this is appropriate. You know, this one's got AI, it's got action, emotion, it's got everything.
Oh, bro, I thought you'd never ask. I've been dying to
Exactly.
review
The creator, fucking what?
iRobot, Will Smith?
No.
Oh, what about After Earth?
Bro, I just said, Will Smith is not in this one. It's the creator. John David Washington, Gareth Edwards, the film that is coming out.
You're telling me there's sci-fi movies that don't have Will Smith in them?
I'm just gonna get the tickets.
Welcome back to Real Talk Podcast, episode 105. I'm your host, Nathan, and I'm joined by the man himself, Matthew Neves, to my left.
Thank you.
And today, we are going to be reviewing the new film, Gareth Edwards' new film, The Creator.
Oh my God. Yeah, this film, before we get into it, what were you most excited about with this particular movie?
So, I saw the marketing campaign for this movie was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I remember seeing like the robots at the Rams game, or the people dressed up as the robots at the Rams game. That generated a lot of hype, and I've been seeing a lot of commercials for it on TV. And I don't know, the trailer made it look like this big sci-fi epic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was kind of excited for. I was excited for a unique idea. It's not a Star Wars movie. It's not the 10th entry in a franchise.
Nope.
It's a unique sci-fi idea.
It's very hard to come by, actually, which is kind of sad to think about. But I was interested in this film from more of the technical aspects of it, because I think I read about how they shot on Sony FX cameras.
Sony FX3?
Yeah, which is like, $4,000, $5,000 camera.
Yeah.
And judging by the production value of $80 million, that's like pennies in comparison. It's like, it's not even close to how much regular cameras are in the industry like that. So to get a 20th Century Studios sci-fi big budget film like that, using those cameras and the effects looking that good, because that's what I'll say straight up. I think you'll agree with me on that, where these effects are like top notch.
Oh, visually the movie's fantastic. And $80 million is a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money.
Well, compared to
for a film like this, compared to other sci-fi epics, how much money they spend.
Not even just sci-fi
or
epics,
just any,
but like fucking Dial of Destiny cost triple the amount plus a little extra than this film. And this looks way better than that. I will stand by that.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, Fast X cost way more.
Yeah, it did. Oh, fuck, man.
They couldn't even get Vin Diesel's face right in that.
No, they couldn't. They couldn't even get Vin Diesel's face, the main actor in those fucking movies. And it's like, with this movie, on the other hand, they got like various aspects really done well with the AI robots, with John David Washington's character like having a fake arm, a fake leg, and it's just all looking super convincing.
It looked so good.
Yeah.
It looked, the fake, everything looked so good. This is the example I'm going to point to when I see bad CGI and be like, look, you could do it for cheap. Like, you could do it right. There is a way to do it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no excuse for some of this Marvel dog shit.
No.
When you watch a movie like this that costs less money than any of those Marvel movies, shot on a $4,000 camera, and just has the best, the cleanest effects that keep you in the movie. That's one thing that this movie did well. The effects kept me in and immersed in that world.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I think it kind of made up for a script that I didn't love.
Yeah.
Let's get into that.
Let's definitely get into it. I've read a few of these talking points, but I think to start off with, Gareth Edwards is a filmmaker that I respect from a VFX standpoint. I feel like this guy knows how to shoot really well, like special effects, like in camera. You get films like Godzilla, Rogue One, where you can't deny these are not ugly movies.
No,
these are beautiful
Rogue
looking.
One is so beautiful,
so beautiful. But when I finished watching Rogue One, this is what I had to say about it. It is the best fan film for Star Wars. It doesn't feel like a Star Wars film.
No, I agree.
Godzilla is a movie that you rarely see Godzilla in, and most of the characters that they're substituting or whatever, they're not that interesting. And I feel like this movie has a lot of similar issues that his previous films had, where I love these effects. I love John David Washington, given his performance and his character, but he is I just didn't feel a whole lot of emotion from this story.
I kind of did though. I don't know. Look, I don't think this movie reinvents the wheel as far as the premise is there's an AI war going on, right? Mm-hmm. So it's set in 2065, I think,
something around there, yeah.
And obviously AI, they do this montage in the beginning explaining how AI is integrated,
which is nice. Yeah.
And then there was a big bomb that went off in LA, and ever since then there's been a war trying to stop AIs. But in Asia, they are protecting the AIs and still using them. Mm-hmm. So it's like America trying to fight them.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay, like they're not reinventing the wheel as far as some of these AI concepts. Like we've seen it done better before in movies like Ex Machina and
even Blade Runner 2049.
Blade Runner 2049. Like they've explored these themes and I think done it in a more deep way that kind of makes you think a little bit more.
Yeah.
This movie didn't really have me thinking about AI and like what really constitutes a human. And
the only moments that it felt like they were exploring it a little bit was when you had a lot of these Buddhist priests that were AI robots and stuff, and it's like, okay, you're going somewhere with this.
There's parts that I like,
no, I like that visually speaking because they don't say anything. They're simply just there for like the visual key, and it's like, I know what you're trying to say about how AI technology is going so far that they're essentially just recreating what we already have, hence the term AI, and they're creating the religions that we had, and they're believing in it just like we are, and they're just living the same lives that we are. They're trying to go for that standard, but I don't know if it's just because Gareth Edwards likes a lot of popular movies. Because you watch this film and you're like, okay, this is just like Vietnam. Okay, this is just Apocalypse Now. Okay, this is just Blade Runner now. Okay, this is just...
Okay, now they got to destroy the Death Star. And
okay,
it's like,
yeah, literally. It is literally just the ending of Star Wars, and you're just thinking to yourself like, Gareth, I know these films, even the bridge part. Remember the scene where they're on the bridge and stuff? I'm like, oh, wow, it's Bridge of the River Kwai. I wonder if this bridge is going to explode. Hold on, let me wait until 10 minutes later. Oh, the bridge exploded. I'm so surprised.
It's funny because that is Gareth Edwards. Like you said, Rogue One is like the best fan Star Wars film.
Yeah.
And this is just a fan sci-fi film.
It's literally just a fan sci-fi film because he takes so many things. And don't get me wrong, I love those sci-fi films too.
For
but
sure.
You have to like make something that stands out from them instead of just showing it in your own version. Because I'm telling you, look, we got to stop with the sci-fi films with the neon lights and it's always raining.
Yeah.
Blade Runner did that. I get it. But ever since then, everyone thinks they're Blade Runner.
I know. Everyone thinks that's a sci-fi aesthetic, but that's a Blade Runner aesthetic.
Yes.
And it's like you don't have to copy that. Sci-fi can be anything.
Exactly.
It's science fiction.
Yeah, the parts that I actually liked are when it tried to distance itself, which was, in my opinion, very rarely. Like the child watching old 60s anime cartoons.
I like that.
Because that was... footage that they made for the movie, which I thought was really clever. It was very much a propaganda piece on the fucking machine going down and destroying AI and stuff. And I thought, okay, that's something.
That was cool.
Yeah, brief, but I liked it.
The movie doesn't reinvent the wheel here, but I think I liked it a little bit more than you, I think, because I saw your Letterboxd review.
Of 2 stars?
2 stars. And I think... I want to know what made you give it 2 stars, because I think while the script I don't love, I think there's a lot to like here. Like there's a lot of pros and cons with this film, but the pros are high. I mean, the visuals, the performances. I think John David Washington is fantastic in this movie. Like there's a lot of things that it does have going for it, even though the script I think brings it down a little.
Yes. Here's what I will say. It is the dialogue and the editing that made me go from...
The editing, eh?
I wasn't a fan because there was a moment, and I think you remember from the beginning where his wife is like, she died or whatever, or at least that's what he thinks. And it's a very quick scene too.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? It was like boom, 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 boom. We gotta establish this. We gotta establish that. Oh, he's a double agent. I fucking hated the pacing of that beginning because I felt like you never got breathing room to give the emotion. Same with John David Washington's performance. He's a great actor. He emotes so well in many scenes of him like crying and stuff.
The scenes where he's emotional, that's what, to me, maybe the script didn't have the emotion, but John David Washington brought it to the screen.
But that's the thing that I'm talking about where he's great in it. The editing was a disservice to him in my
Yeah.
opinion, because he cries so quickly and you don't feel anything
true.
about it. Whenever you see an actor cry on camera, you got to give them time. You got to give that breathing room, because you as the audience are aware of, hey, look, I don't just cry in 2 seconds. That's not
Right.
realistic. You need to relate to the sense of like John David Washington looking at these photos of his wife, looking at these photos of him remembering the good times, going to these flashbacks and actually taking them in. Those flashbacks felt like a millisecond compared to the rest of the fucking movie.
I think that they cut a lot of stuff. I think there's
Right?
probably a director's cut that, like, you know, they could probably recut this a little bit longer and it hit harder with the emotion, because I'm sure they did shoot a lot of that, but I guess for time purposes and for pacing, they tried to just keep it going quick.
Yeah.
But I agree, they should have sat in those emotional moments a little bit longer, or built up that relationship so that those emotional moments can pay off later in the film.
Because if you establish those emotions at the beginning, then the ending when they meet for the last time hits even better.
Yeah.
I think that ruined it.
That scene didn't have the intensity and the emotion that I was hoping.
I think the movie would have got me emotionally if they did it this way. So I thought this would have been a really clever way of doing it. Instead of him like literally seeing her in person, I think it would have been more clever for him like losing oxygen and just him like lying down and hearing her voice for the last time. Because I thought that's what the kid was doing. The kid was carrying her mom and then putting the microchip of memory, giving her 30 seconds to talk to him for one last time. It's a symbolic representation of not just heaven, which is what they've been talking about throughout the entire film.
Which is a theme in the film.
Yeah. I thought that would have been so much better, and I thought that would have hit me way harder, but it just had to be the most epic fucking thing
They had
in
to be
sci-fi.
running through a field,
like
while everything's exploding.
Oh my God. I wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah. I wasn't a huge fan of that part either, but obviously we're doing a lot of spoilers here, so
Oh yeah, spoiler
I'm
alert.
letting the spoilers fly in case you didn't know.
That's on me too, yeah.
The scene where he says, "Don't worry, I'm going to heaven."
Yeah.
It fucking got me, man.
It would have got me more if they set it up better.
I don't know. That one to me really got me. John David Washington's performance. There was a girl sitting next to me sobbing.
Oh yeah, same with me.
Yeah, you saw people crying in the
No,
theater?
I heard someone
You heard
like yeah.
There was she was sobbing next to me. Like that moment hit for a lot of people, I think. And I watched a couple of reviews of people saying that they also saw people crying in the theater. So it did have some emotional moments, but I think it could have done a lot better.
Yeah. I feel like it's the same way with Rogue One, where I wasn't a huge fan of that movie, to be honest with you. I thought it was kind of boring, and by the end of it, it's like, oh, wow, they all died. But that's usually the moment that everyone talks about that's like, that got me emotional because these characters, they sacrifice. I would too, but again, I don't find these characters as interesting, and you need to latch on to like something emotional from them. And for me, I just never saw it. Same with Godzilla. The fucking, what is it, Aaron Taylor Johnson as the soldier guy. I did not give a shit if he lived or died. So,
I think Rogue One got some extra points because of how shit the Disney trilogy was.
yeah, I guess.
And how it's like, oh, it's a Disney one that's competent, that tells like a story.
The contrast, I guess, but like
personally, I liked how the way it added stakes to New Hope, like the way it set up New Hope,
right,
without kind of stepping on it too much.
Yeah,
because they're using different characters. I think Rogue One's pretty good.
Yeah, I guess coming from most fans of Gareth Edwards, like Rogue One is like his best work.
Yeah.
I don't know about the creator. The creator is his first original story, and he's doing a lot. I like the chapters. I like the child. I like the creator. I liked how he reveals things that you're not aware of until it hits you, where it's like the mother. That's what the creator is. That's what the term at the very beginning was evoking, is that she was the one who created this child who was AI, and it was like, I like that.
But I think some of those like reveals are just kind of obvious too.
Right.
Like I fucking knew it was her.
Oh yeah, same.
Like we all knew it was her.
Yeah. But it's the
like,
emotions that need to hit.
So when they drop those bombs, like, oh, it's her. It's like, oh yeah, I kind of saw this coming.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like John David watches. Who is it? I'm like, bitch, come on, man. Like, how many characters are in this film? I know you're like jotting it down, but you got like one friend in this other part of the world.
Yeah.
I wonder who it is. It's not fucking Sherlock Holmes shit,
It's so funny.
But the child was okay.
The child, so this is the kid's first ever on-screen performance.
Nice.
And for a first ever performance, I think this kid gives a pretty great performance. Like, I was in all the way. Like,
yeah. I think it comes down to the fact that I expected more from their relationship. Because you know how you get those sci-fi films where it's like an older person and the child, they're all interacting? Like, a good example is Mandalorian.
for sure.
I feel like Mandalorian is a great one where it's like one character you can't even see his face, and one character doesn't speak any English. So it's like, how do you fucking make that relationship? But they do it amazingly.
Yeah.
In this one, there's like moments where it's like, tell me the map.
Oh,
And the kid's like, no. And he's like, fuck.
Fuck.
Okay, let's go on this bus. And it's like, what? That's the scene? You're not giving me anything. Like, I love the actors, but it's just like they're trying so hard to make it emotional.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you make that emotional?
The beginning of their relationship is literally that.
Like, yeah.
Tell me about this. Who's this? All of a sudden, the kid doesn't talk. All right, come here.
Yeah.
Like,
all right, you're coming with me.
Let's go see this guy.
Yeah. Let's go see this guy. Let's go see that guy.
And then it's like, oh, now you talk. And then it's like, oh, you talk sometimes, but still don't want to tell me the shit I want, even though you're already trusting me.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Oh no, I got kidnapped. Fuck. I got kidnapped by Ken Watanabe AI. Shit. Like, I don't fucking, there's moments in this movie where it literally just feels like, okay, A to B, B to C, D to A. Like, fucking, okay.
Yo, Ken Watanabe AI is kind of fire. I kind of like
he's
him
awesome.
in this movie. I think he's
I wish he was
great.
in it more.
I know.
Actually, hot take. I wish that they cut out like the beginning of this movie and you find out that his wife died.
Yeah, they probably could do that.
Because I like the general.
Right. Yeah.
I like the general having that like intimidating voice, and I wish his presence was way. I wish he was in the movie more.
Yeah.
He was in it at the beginning, and then he was in it at the end, and then that was it.
I know.
But then you get all the fucking soldiers, which I knew they
bro.
were so fucking obvious, dude.
Fucking American ass G.I. Joe ass soldiers, man.
Tell me the answer, or I'll shoot your dog. Why do I sound like Stone Cold? I don't know, man.
What?
Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm gonna beat your AI ass. What? Who? Sorry. I feel like Stone Cold would have been in this film, and I'd be like, yeah, I figured he'd be in it.
Stone Cold could have been one of those soldiers.
But that's what I mean. They're so fucking disposable. Like, I did not give
so
two
cookie
shits.
cutter to like American soldiers. You know, it's like they just copy and paste from like Avatar. Or
Yes.
Name 10 other movies that there's American soldiers like that. You know.
And it makes it even worse because of the fact that this movie is so obvious with its subject matter of like, oh yeah, AI just so happens to be more prominent in Eastern Asian countries. I'm like, oh, I wonder if that's supposed to invoke something historical that happened in, you know. Well, I'm just trying to think, was there a war that happened around 50, 60 years ago that a lot of movies covered? Nah, probably not. Charlie Sheen, Martin Sheen, Platoon, Apocalypse. No, nothing.
That was fiction.
That was all fiction. Anyways, but that's what I mean. There's a lot of like homages that feel like there's too many, I think.
Too many homages. Too many. Like, it does feel like a sci-fi greatest hits at times. Or trying to be, right?
Like, I like the sound design. Like, the moment when it gets destroyed, like that machine, like taking down all the AIs. I love the way it's done. But let's be honest. That's literally just Death Star.
I know. Yeah.
That's just the Death Star.
As soon as they're like, all right, we got to go up and destroy it. Like, I looked over at my buddy and I was just like, they got to destroy the Death Star.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's the same fucking movie.
What difference does it make? Except in this case, it feels more like the Resistance. Like, it's more like akin to that. It's more grounded. And
it feels like Rogue One. Like, it doesn't feel like Luke Skywalker destroying the Death. It feels like a Rogue One sneak in, like, which is his movie. It has Rogue One all over it.
That is true.
Huge Rogue One vibes in this movie.
Yeah, and I did like the new robot technology that they had, like the bomber.
Oh,
the one that's like
the one that just runs.
Yeah,
that one was sick and pretty scary. Like,
yeah,
when they had that smoked out bridge shot, which looked beautiful.
Oh yeah.
And you see that robot just running through, and they're all just fucking waiting.
Yeah,
that's a sick scene. Like,
that
I felt the tension there for sure.
That's the thing that I really liked about like little moments like that is when they try to change it up slightly.
Yeah,
because like in terms of you could easily call that, oh, it's an R2D2 ripoff. It's like no. I could totally see like a military propaganda like equipment like that where it's like have them run. Fuck it, man. Let's just kill these bastards. It's like, yeah, that's the logic that the military would have to making those types of robots.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious because he's just running by the enemies and like pushing
You're
them
just
out.
fucking like tackle like he's a fucking football player, man.
So funny.
Oh my god.
I did like that. There was some. See, that's the thing with when I'm just glad it's fresh idea. Like it's a fresh. Sure, it's greatest hit sci-fi, but I'm glad that this is a sci-fi movie that's not a spin-off of anything,
right?
And it's a standalone. I feel like this movie feels like gives me like early 2000 vibes in like the sci-fi. Like this movie would be a hit in 2003.
I think so.
This movie comes out in 2003, bro. It's a box office hit.
Yeah.
I don't know what the box office is looking like right now.
Well, it's coming out the same weekend as Saw X.
Yeah.
So, and fucking people are into that. So it all depends, man.
And I just don't know. Like, I don't know. In this day and age, like, are people going out to see a movie like this?
I hope so. I hope at least just for the curiosity of it. Like, even though I wasn't a fan of the movie, I'm glad that Gareth Edwards was able to make an original sci-fi film. It took him how many years?
Yeah.
He did Godzilla and Rogue One. Those are existing franchises. It's about time that he was able to do this. I think the only advice I would give to not only him, but a few other filmmakers is, like, take more risks.
Yeah.
Be more original with this stuff. I feel like you can be influenced by it, but then you got to actually like stand out from the rest. Be different than Denis Villeneuve. Be different than Nolan. Be your own type of fucking filmmaker. You have the money now for it.
Yeah.
So,
and I think he has the talent for it. Like,
absolutely.
I might not love this film, and you didn't really like it either. But Gareth Edwards has the talent. Like, you see potential in this guy. I want to see his next film, even though I didn't love this one too much. I still liked it enough, and there was a lot that was going for it well. The way it was shot, the performances he got out of these actors, and just the universe. I felt pretty immersed in.
Absolutely, I agree too. I do have some questions.
Let's do it.
I think we can get into a couple of them. I'll go first. So the first one, we just talked about various sci-fi films, but what is your favorite sci-fi film that came out post-2000? So nothing before 2000. I'm talking like
post-2000. It might be Ex Machina.
Really?
Yeah, I really love that film.
That's a really good one.
I really, really love that film.
I fuck with that one.
The first time I saw that, I wasn't really into film. And that was one of those that like, whoa, like this is a concept that I've never really seen. That was like my first like AI film.
Okay.
The first film that opened my head to those kind of ideas. So to watch that play out, I remember it really resonating with me and sticking with me.
Yeah, that ending was good too.
Yeah,
the
for
way
sure.
it ends is fucking creepy, and it's very. I like that director's work because he also did Annihilation, which also had a pretty fucking creepy ending.
What's your favorite sci-fi film post 2000?
I honestly think it's gonna be Blade Runner for me, Blade Runner 2049, because the scale and everything like that. It basically took the first film and updated its effects and took a different turn on the characters, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah,
especially from Ryan Gosling's performance.
I mean, I am a sci-fi novice. Like I was always kind of didn't think sci-fi was my thing, like so much so that I didn't see Star Wars up until like a couple of years ago.
Right.
Because I was like, sci-fi's not my thing. I don't think I'm gonna like it. And of course, I loved it. Like
you got the Darth Maul, man.
Exactly. Now I of course love it, but I'm still sometimes skeptical to watch sci-fi because I'm not sure if I'm gonna be into it.
Yeah.
So it's a genre that I'm starting to get into, but I'd say Ex Machina post 2000. But I'm sure there's a lot of things out there that I haven't seen that I need to see.
That's fair. In terms of directors, though, because we did I criticize a lot about Gareth Edwards, but I'm curious what your thoughts on are your favorite sci-fi film director between these two, Gareth Edwards or J.J. Abrams. Who do you think is the better sci-fi film director?
Damn. J.J. Abrams. So what has J.J. Abrams done?
He did Super 8, Star Trek, the Star Wars sequel films.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, which I don't love. And I'm not a Star Trek guy either. So I'm going to say, for me personally, it's Gareth Edwards because I think he kind of tells more like a person character-driven stories.
Right.
Which is my kind of sci-fi. I'm going to say Gareth Edwards for sure.
That's fair. I feel like most fans would say he made the better Star Wars film than Abrams.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree.
Yeah. I think I'll lean towards Edwards too because I feel like Abrams, especially later in his career, I don't think he makes as good films as he used to. It's like a Joss Whedon situation where like this guy went from doing like Firefly and all these great sci-fi stuff to like I don't like it. It feels cheap. A lot of the films that Abrams makes now I feel like are cheap and I don't consider it genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Where at least Edwards is trying. You could see his genuine filmmaking come across. I'm just not a fan of how he illustrates the characters, but I'll fucking take that over fucking nothing.
Yeah, I'd like to see Abrams change genres and do something like, I don't know, do drama, do something different. Like,
Yeah, I would too, because he's in the position where his last film was Rise of Skywalker, so he's in a rough patch right now.
yeah, like I want to see like maybe like a lower budget character piece,
Yeah.
something like that from him. Like I'm interested in seeing that because I think he's a talented director. I just don't love the projects he picks. He's just
Especially
like such a
recently.
commercial like director.
Yeah.
Hard
Especially
to, hard to
recently.
get behind for me.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you have another question, but
I got a question about the film.
Go for
What was
it.
your favorite scene of the film?
Ooh, favorite
'Cause
scene?
the scene, I mean, the film as a whole, whatever, but has some scenes that I really like.
Yes, I think my favorite scene is John David Washington talking about heaven.
Yeah.
I like that because even though the dialogue at the very end gets a little like
You're talking about
cliche-
the one where they're sitting down on the bus?
Yep.
And he's like, I can't, only good people, you got to be good to go to heaven.
Yeah. Like the dialogue, especially towards the end, like that stuff. I'm like, okay, he's like, I'm a bad guy. I'm not going to heaven. It's like I could totally see that being butchered by like a Channing Tatum performance.
Oh, for sure.
It's like I'm a badass bitch, you
Yeah.
know. And then the kid's just like, "Oh, you're the bad guy, and I'm just a robot." But because these actors are talented, in my opinion, they handle the dialogue so much better.
Yeah, that
And-
line doesn't make that much sense.
No,
right?
it doesn't.
Especially think about it. You're John David Washington.
Yeah.
You have to take this kid with you. Your mission is to kill the weapon,
Yeah,
whatever,
exactly.
which is the kid.
Yeah.
He finds out it's the kid, so he doesn't kill the kid immediately. He's got to take the kid with him. Immediately, while they're on a bus, he says that he's a bad guy to the kid. Why would the kid want to go with him?
No, exactly.
It's like, bro, you're supposed to get this kid to trust you.
Yeah. But the way it's done, I think, is my favorite scene
Yeah.
because even with dialogue that, like you said, doesn't make a whole lot of fucking sense, the music, the performances, it works. And I love it cutting to B-roll shots of like animals, B-roll shots of AI robots, B-roll shots of various things in life. I love that. It felt like a documentary when they shot that shit. I'm like, yes, I love this sequence. It works.
I think my favorite scene. I like the scene where he discovers the kid.
Yeah.
In that chair and he's watching the car. I
That's
think
pretty good.
That one was really cool. I like the bridge sequence. I thought that was pretty exciting. Like the
Yeah.
the one we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
How about character? Best character in the film.
Fuck. I already described how a lot of these characters get ruined by like editing and stuff, but I feel like
Yeah.
John David Washington gives his all.
It's the standout.
Yeah.
His character's name is Joshua in the film. He's the standout of this movie, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From the beginning, when when they get the flashback scenes of him and his pregnant wife chilling, like
Yeah.
he just sells it so well. Like the man's Denzel's son, and you see Denzel in him, bro.
Absolutely.
Like, you see Denzel in this guy.
I mean, like I've seen he was in Tenet, he was in Black Klansman. Like you see those films, especially Black Klansman.
I didn't
think,
see Black Klansman.
dude, that film fucking rocks.
That's
man.
Spike Lee too, right?
Yeah.
Fuck, I gotta see that one. I do like Spike Lee.
Oh man.
But for me personally, this is a way better performance from him than Tenet. And the best performance I've seen of him, because I haven't seen Black Klansman, maybe that's a better performance in your.
I think so. Yeah. I feel like that was his best performance he did.
But my stock for John David Washington has gone up. Like this guy is a fucking elite actor, man. I want to see him do more. I want to see him in more dramas. I want to see him in some crime films. I want to see him follow in the Denzel footsteps.
Fucking A, man. And you know what I liked about this film too? It didn't set up sequel.
No.
It ended.
Great.
And I love that.
I know. I love a sci-fi film that builds this world and doesn't set it up for a next one. It doesn't have to be Avatar. It doesn't have to be Star Wars. It could just be a one-off, unique idea.
Exactly.
It's cool.
And last question I'm gonna give you, Nathan, before we end off. Favorite Gareth Edwards film? I know there's only like 4 that he's directed, but I'm curious what your favorite is.
It's got to be Rogue One for me.
Okay.
Rogue One for me, after that Disney trilogy left a horrible taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
Rogue One washed it out for me.
Yeah.
To me, like that one was the one. So I gotta go Rogue One.
Yeah. I think mine would be Godzilla.
You like that? I like that Godzilla
Yeah.
too. I thought that was a fun Godzilla movie who's fucking shit up. That's what I wanted to see out of a Godzilla film.
Because even though I wasn't a huge fan of the characters throughout the movie, I feel like the tension was still there.
Yeah.
And the moment when Godzilla fucking like rips the mouth and like breathes the fire in and rips it, I just like, yep, that's my Godzilla.
Yeah. All right, we will wrap it up there. Thank you for watching this episode of the Real Talk Podcast. Let us know your thoughts on The Creator. I've seen a lot of people praising it, talking about could be movie of the year, and I'm seeing a lot of people give it 2 stars on Letterboxd. So let us know.
Why are you calling me out?
Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Brush your hair.
Peace.